You know, the one thing that nobody ever tells you about when you start making YouTube videos is the fact that your intros are going to be super, super awkward. Welcome back to Taco Truck Gaming. It's been a while. I got a beard. Lots of other stuff happened. We'll talk about that in another video. Right now, we're talking about the top 5 beginner mistakes that people make when getting into, collecting and selling Pokemon cards. A lot of people, find it controversial when people get into the hobby because they want to make money, whatever. I don't really judge those people. I've been a Pokemon fan since '96, whenever it came out in the US, and I feel like gatekeeping the hobby is kind of a bad thing, but that's a topic for another video. All right, number 5 is not doing enough research before you go out to hunt. I get it. You guys are excited. You want to go and you want to run to Target. You want to go to Walmart and see if you can find some stuff that's pretty rare. Very unlikely, but you're just in a rush because you're fresh in the hobby. It happens. But the biggest mistake you can do is to go to those stores and not do any research before you went. Let's say you get to the store and you find a pack. Let's say it's like a Cosmic Eclipse pack, and you're sitting there trying to figure out, is this worth buying? Should I buy multiple of these? How many should I buy? What's the resale value? What are the chase cards? My biggest advice, or one of my biggest pieces of advice, would be to sit down at home for an hour or two and try to figure out what you're looking for, what you actually like. Go based off of that, in all honesty, but try to figure out what's popular, what's not so popular, and what's gonna sell for the most, or what's gonna have the highest collectible value. Number 4, not budgeting. When you're a beginner and you don't know what you're doing, play it safe. Don't go spending your entire paycheck on a Champion's Path Elite Trainer box, or whatever you might be looking for, Shiny Star V from Japan. You got to be smart about it. Look into things like return on investment, ROI. Start writing down Excel charts. Those are things that I would recommend so that you don't get into the hole. If you get into the hole, you're screwed. Then you can't buy any more Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? Until your next paycheck or stimmy, whatever you're waiting for. If you have money like that, go crazy. Whatever. It's not mine. But for the budget collector, budget. I just recorded 30 minutes of video and none of it saved. Number 3, not investing in these things. These are obviously card sleeves. So many people take their raw cards, fresh cards, sometimes Charizards, ooh, my goodness, and just throw them into a binder. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you spend $30 on a binder, but not $5 on these, right? Now, granted, these are kind of hard to find right now because everybody's into the hobby. So it sucks if you go to a store and you can't find them, but you really should try your best, pay a little bit extra and get these. You could try eBay to find them for a good price. Local card shops are great. Sometimes you might get lucky. Now, I talked about sending in cards for grading, right? Okay, so what is grading? Number 2, not understanding the grading process, right? You have a card and it has a value. So you have a Charizard, let's say you just pulled a Rainbow Charizard. The actual value of that card isn't determined until one of 3 companies takes a look at it and gives it a grade, encapsulates it in this hard plastic, puts a metal stamp, authenticity, all the fancy stuff, right? The value doesn't matter to most collectors until that happens, right? So what do? They take a look at the card and they determine things based off of 2 different criteria. Things that you can control and things that you can't control. So when I say things that you can control, keeping your grubby hands off of the card, not getting food on it, not bending it, not sitting on it, not ripping it, not denting it, those are things that you can control. Putting it in sleeves and not throwing it raw into a binder, things you can control. Things you can't control, the print quality. So for example, the centering. Let me get a card. See these yellow borders right here? That is just a border, but basically the middle of the card, how centered it is, based off of the top, down, left, right, whatever, how even these lines are, that's what your centering is. That also applies to the back. Those are things that you cannot control. Another thing that you can't control is print lines. I don't have an example of a card with bad print lines, and that's actually a blessing, because oftentimes when you have cards that are hollow like this, and you kind of shimmer them a little bit like this into the camera, you can see sometimes that there are horizontal or vertical lines that appear that are only appearing at certain angles. Those are print lines. You can't do anything about those, right? Another one would be the whitening of a card. So sometimes on the back, specifically on the back usually, there are sometimes these little white marks that come up. These white marks, I really don't know where they come from, but it happens. Maybe when they're shipped, maybe when they're cut, you know, at the factory, they just appear. And sometimes you can kind of like take the card and wipe them away, but a lot of times that's not the case, and that will bring down the value of your card. Most card companies, I believe all three, which would be PSA, BGS, which stands for Beckett Grading Service, and CGS, which I believe is the comic book grading service. They just recently got into cards. Those are the three companies that are going to look at it. Number one, we're finally here. Have fun, dude. Like, you're collecting pieces of paper that have the words Pokemon on it and a little drawing of a little dragon guy or something. Like, that's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for kids. But here I am, 28 years old, collecting it my entire life, basically. But yeah, just don't forget to have fun. It is fun. Like, this is based off of fun. If it's not fun, why bother? If you made it this far, I want to thank you for watching. And I would hope that you consider liking and subscribing, leaving a comment down below letting me know what kind of videos you like to watch, if you want more information, whatever. And because you stuck around this long, there is a bonus tip. The bonus tip is start a group chat with your friends. Go make a Facebook if you don't already have one. Go make a Reddit account if you don't already have one, and find a local, specifically a local Pokemon card collecting group. I don't want you to just stick to just the locals, but the locals are the ones that are going to tell you which ones are in which store at which time, because maybe they're veterans in the hobby, whatever, but they're going to be the ones who are going to help you get the sets that you can't find. So I was able to find Champion's Path and whatever else has been hot recently because of a group chat that I started with my friends. That's all I got for you. This is Taco Truck Gaming. I am Corey. I'll see you guys later.